Today is what I call my second social strikeout this season, but with a unique twist. And I entered late in the afternoon the library, as today was incredibly hot, and I entered to temporarily cool down. I worked on my notebook briefly until I talked around and saw not many people. But I did see a few familiar faces. Most people were wearing headphones or working, so I decided there are not many people here, so I'll head out blocks away to a local storefront and a mall. So I did. And I reached my way toward the outlets, and I saw a local music venue where there was a lot of people singing. And I saw this time a few familiar faces, and which I do not know in school, but I've seen them before. And I believe the music venue started with the word J, I believe, because my memory is kind of foggy here. And I saw some women breakdancing later on, and there was also a lead singer during the actual singing that even called out for some of the people to perform and dance in front of the audience. And I observed a lot of liveliness and people on the sidelines were nearby too. We're also watching. From the restaurants to the local benches, this was around 7 p.m. and it was pretty cool. Not even wives and their own kids were dancing. But then later, this time where it does occur is that I saw a vendor girl who has a mini corner shop that sells snacks and foods. And I was curious about how to open up a business like this and try to make money myself since I have been doing nothing with my days and to also test my own conversational skills. She was around high school age and I decided to initiate the local conversation, context wise, and ask about the music venue and what she does around this place. I then looked around to buy something. I asked the price of certain things a few times. I think one area of improvement here is that my goal was to try to network and get to know how these types of corner shops work. And I asked how she was able to open one up. She said that her dad does all the work and she just sits there waiting for people, but her details were pretty vague even as I tried to ask specifics, but she didn't say much. So then later, I knew that asking for the price multiple times just to continue the conversation would make me look pretty needy. So for 5 minutes straight in this shop, I decided that am I going to ask if her shop business has a storefront Instagram to try to ask, or should we ask her for Instagram straight, which could close up or open up the topics when it comes to business and other things too. And I really think of this as a gamble here. And I knew that I've already asked basic questions: how's the venue? How's the business done? And if I try again and with that Hail Mary shot right there, that could really go either way. And I'm gonna exhaust my options and overthink everything. I decided to go to the middle option and ask if this place has a storefront Instagram, contact the owners and see how to open them myself. But sadly, she said no, and that apparently these types of corner shops just appear here and there and then disappear, although they still have its own dedicated place for it to occur. So later, after asking for a price for one of the cheap products, which was a Rice Krispie, I bought it and she told me she's a high schooler, and eventually I said goodbye and I wished her a good day. Overall, I think the improvement here is it was good I did not try to ask on the personal side of the conversation because I didn't feel it hit as far asking personally. So it might make me look like I'm on something if I try to ask straight. She was not asking much questions about me either. So if I had pursued that conversation further, I think at the end that would have been a little bit risky. And at the end, this is a business. I'm a customer. She's a seller. So to hold a conversation that is pretty difficult. But depending on who, it's still good that I showed up anyway in that metaphor. And we still do the pitch. But I've seen this mistake yesterday and with other people that I've met before is that I'm asking too many questions, but I'm also asking for their Instagrams first, which I'm failing to push short talk conversation to a level where it's reasonable to ask. But then again, a good conversation is also up to the other side to commit and attempt to reciprocate, which I have not seen quite a few times. But I can still try the best, but if it's not, then sometimes it just is not.